My 36F husband, 41M, got fired for harassing a coworker, and won't talk to me about it. My 36F husband, 41M, got fired for harassing a coworker, and won't talk to me about it. Original post, Reddit April 2, 2018. My husband Charlie and I have been together for 10 years, married for 6. We've had our ups and downs, but are currently in an up. He has never done anything like this in the past, so it came out of left field for me and I'm very much shocked and at a loss here. Charlie is a computer programmer and was a senior engineer at his former company, where he had worked for 4 years. He'd never had any trouble with co-workers and we're both friendly with a few of them, mostly other men and their wives. On Friday of last week, he came home around 11 a.m. and told me he'd been fired. He was really upset and agitated, and I didn't want to push him about it, but he told me that they'd said he was harassing a co-worker and was fired. The information I've been able to get out of him. The co-worker is Beth, a junior engineer who he's never mentioned to me before. He said she's terrible at her job. Beth slept with a senior engineer we are both friendly with, Darren. Darren wasn't involved in the harassment, wasn't fired, etc. The company's lawyers were there and among the things they told him was that Beth could have pressed charges but chose not to. Something happened with her car, but he won't say what. His exact words were, "There was something with her car." He was escorted off of the premises and is not allowed back in the building to get his belongings, and instead has to arrange with security to pick them up after business hours. As far as anything else goes, he won't give me any details. He isn't interested in seeing a lawyer because he says everything is legal. He has basically admitted to sending Beth some emails but won't say what they said or anything like that. I don't know if Beth sleeping with Darren had to do with it, but the fact that he gave me the detail makes me think it does. I'm not sure how it relates. Darren is a very nice, single man who is in his late 20s and approximately the same age as Beth. My mind is running wild here. Charlie has been depressed and withdrawn all weekend, won't talk to me about it, and won't talk much in general. I work remotely so I was home all day with him and he played video games all day and then went to bed at 6 p.m. The fact that he won't tell me anything and isn't interested in seeing a lawyer makes me think that it's bad, and makes me worry that everything is true and not just a misunderstanding or a small thing blown out of proportion. He has never been flirtatious with other women or cruel to them, and he's never said anything bad about other women engineers he works with. I don't know what to do here. My instinct is to be supportive of my husband, but I don't know what kind of behavior I'd be supporting. I don't want to run to his co-workers we know and ask them, since they're more our friends than my friends, and while we spend time together at get-togethers or bars, I'm not close with them. In an immediate sense, I don't know what to do about helping someone who is so depressed and won't talk to me. Top comments. Clever account name 13. I would tell him you have to assume the worst if he won't be honest with you. I've gotta say he must have done bad boop to be escorted off the premises with no warning like that. Either he was hating on her and went over the top, or he tried to frick her and went over the top, or he tried to frick her and then hated on her. Edit. Reread. I'm guessing tried to frick her, sent crazy emails and vandalized her car. He could easily still be charged criminally and or sued. 1 million rupees. I've worked at larger companies and when they fire people, sometimes they are walked right out of the building. The reasoning is they don't want the fired person to make a scene and rock the boat. It's heartless in my opinion, but it does happen. Something tells me Op's husband did something terrible because lawyers were there and apparently the girl could have pressed charges. That is very unusual. My guess is Op's husband got jealous that Darren was sleeping with Beth and not him, as he had a crush on Beth for a while and he flipped out and went all nice guy on her. He mentioned there are emails, so there is evidence in writing as well. This does not bode well for Op. Mind Chiobethness. Seeing as it got so far that he's been fired and he doesn't want to fight it, sounds like the allegations are probably true. The fact that he brings up Darren makes it seem like he's harassed her as a result of freaking jealousy. Does he usually shut down conversation on things? Does he usually keep things from you? I'd be very cautious about what he's hiding and what it means for you and your relationship, even if it's not freaking and it's just plain old harassment. Do you want to be with a grown man who harasses young women to the point he gets fired? Update. Copy of the update. My thread was locked before I was able to respond to any of the comments, but I was able to read them this morning. I got up at 5:30 to go to the gym before work, and my husband was still awake playing video games. I presented him with the very good idea someone suggested of sending me an email with the details, but that it wasn't acceptable to shut me out of this situation, since it affects me too. His response was basically, "The paperwork is in my car, go get it if you want to read it." I asked him to go get it so we could look at it together, and he said, "You are going to believe what you want anyway." All of this is unusual for our marriage because I'm a pretty patient person, I think. We went out to the car together and he got in his car, handed me the papers, and left. For about 2 hours I was panicked because I didn't know where he went, if he was okay, if he was thinking of hurting himself, but his mother texted me at 9 saying he was over there, asking me what happened, if everything is okay, etc. His parents live about 15 minutes away and I guess he told her he's going to be staying there. So, the paperwork. According to the paperwork, he sent her multiple harassing emails from anonymous email accounts. The emails are printed out and attached. He apparently did this while at work and they have been monitoring his user account for 3 months. The emails aren't freaking or romantic in nature and are all anonymous and about how she sucks at her job, wouldn't be there if she wasn't a woman, how she should quit before she gets fired, and how everyone in the office hates her. He made fake user accounts for his company's product that she works on and submitted bad reviews of her work. He also did this while logged in at work. He sent an anonymous email to her boss saying that she was sleeping with a senior engineer on another project. He put a gun catalog on the windshield of her car. I don't know what this gesture means, but I obviously understand that it was meant to be threatening. Unfortunately, inside was a subscription card that the company auto-filled with his name and address. She also says she has been harassed for the same length of time, about 3 months, on Twitter. He only logged into one Twitter account that harassed her at work, so they can only say one was him. All telling her to quit her job. So, I don't know what to do now. This is all terrifying to me, and I feel so bad for this woman. I have no idea what this is all about. He works with other women engineers, and he has worked with male engineers who don't pull their weight, and he's never done anything like this. I would have bet $1 million that he'd never do anything like this. He's at his parents' right now and I don't know what my next move here could possibly be. This is so scary and out of left field to me. Relevant comments. Oop, added in the comments. I forgot to mention, this paperwork is copied from the original and was signed by both him and his company. I don't know if that's a full admission, but it seems damning either way. Chameleon. Time to sit your husband down and give an ultimatum. He needs to give you his side of the story, or you two are done. This is clearly a Jekyll and Hyde thing going on. Jack, not name. Your husband needs serious therapy. What you describe is absolutely abhorrent behavior. If he is unwilling to get help about this, or do anything to convince you that he understands how wrong what he did is, you should seriously consider getting as far away from this man as you can. What he did is evil. This is a repost sub. I am not the oop. Do not contact the oops or comment on linked posts. Remember, Rule 7. He put a gun catalog on the windshield of her car. I don't know what this gesture means, but I obviously understand that it was meant to be threatening. Unfortunately, inside was a subscription card that the company auto-filled with his name and address. This dude came unhinged. Thankfully he was also a monumental idiot in how he did it. He might not be so stupid next time. 6 years, 11 months and 2 days later and I am still patiently waiting for an update. Senior engineer not knowing that company IT can see all his emails is just chef's kiss honestly. refuses to give his own explanation and tells her you're gonna believe what you want anyway when letting her have the official story equals he knows damn well the official story is completely true and he has zero excuse or justification, but he's gonna treat her like the bad guy for not blindly taking his side anyway. Sucks to find out you married a psycho, but at least now she knows you're going to believe what you want anyway. Rolling eyes face. He put a gun catalog on the windshield of the car. I don't know what this gesture means, but I obviously understand that it was meant to be threatening. Unfortunately, inside was a subscription card that the company auto-filled with his name and address. Holy poop. His mother texted me at 9 saying he was over there, asking me what happened, if everything is okay, etc. Lamau. Harasses a woman and indirectly tells her to buy a gun to shoot herself, but doesn't tell his wife what went down when he's exposed and runs to mommy's house afterwards. This is absolutely not the first time he has done sexist and harassing poop. It's just the first time he got caught. May have been mostly online before. I have seen this very thing unfold with colleague. The reason for the harassment there? Well, she slept with one of the other colleagues, so he thought he deserved the same. But she did not get the gist of his attempts to get to know her / was not interested, so he tried to get her fired for creating a bad work environment. I might be wrong with this, but usually if somebody really sucks at their job, others see that, too. Here it looks to me like only the husband thought she was bad at it. So somehow I start to assume this is not about her work, but about what he thinks he would be entitled to because she did it with someone else at work. Just to make this clear, I had this happen between colleagues at my own job and the above logic wasn't mine. It was the reason of the male employee when finally confronted why he was so obsessive about his female colleague's alleged incompetence. After a lot of talk with HR and even a lawyer, he admitted that he felt it was his time to get some special treatment by her, because someone else had gotten it, his words, not mine, and when she did not show any interest, he wanted to punish her by getting her fired. Wow, somehow I feel like fricking would have somehow been better? Which is crazy to say, but a gun catalog on the car is so insane. I would be terrified. It is a given that the behavior is heinous, but even the execution of it was just so bad. Doing it on a work computer and didn't check the gun catalog presumably provided to him by work or subscribed to from work. So dumb. I have no idea what this is all about. He works with other women engineers, and he has worked with male engineers who don't pull their weight, and he's never done anything like this. Well, people don't immediately start with the bat poop crazy stuff right away. They escalate slowly. It's more than likely he'd harassed other female engineers, but was more subtle about it and more careful not to leave traces on his work computer and work emails. Often women don't try to fight if they have no immediate proof. They just quit. It's also entirely possible that he did such stuff before and HR dismissed it or his boss covered for him, and either he or she got a new boss who didn't let misogyny fly, or they got a different HR who is now more assertive, or one of the other women sued and since the company hadn't taken her seriously they settled and he got a slap on the wrist and a warning not to do it again. But he took it as a formality and thought he'd never get fired for this and got even bolder than before. And of course he wouldn't do it to a man, no matter how incompetent. That's just not how misogynistic people think. I asked him to go get it so we could look at it together and he said, "You are going to believe what you want anyway." This is nuts. Of course she's going to believe what she wants when the documents literally say that he was harassing someone. The emails aren't freaking or romantic in nature. I'd bet the harassment was definitely due to his feelings that were in fact freaking in nature. This husband has serious incel psychotic vibes all around. And anyone really needs to stay far away from a man like this because this kind of guy, they are scary. Man, this is a story where I would really like an update just making sure that Oop is okay. That is some deeply unhinged behavior. Inside was a subscription card that the company auto-filled with his name and address. This part made me burst out laughing. What a moron. On the serious side, what a psycho. And how on earth, with all that evidence, Would she believe what she wanted to anyway? He threatened and harassed this woman using his work computer. And he's a computer programmer. I mean, what he did was horrendous and inexcusable, but also GD stupid, and if I were the wife I'd be at least as upset about marrying a moron as a harasser. The crazy behavior of this man is inexcusable. However, let's talk about how dumb he is. I am a software engineer. I know, and he should have known, how easy it is for your workplace to get every single keystroke off your work computer. They know what sites you visit and what you do there. If your phone is on the company Wi-Fi, they know what you do on your phone, as well. If you bring your personal laptop to the office, they can still see what sites you access on their Wi-Fi. If you work from home, but use a company laptop, they have software on that laptop that gives them all this same information. I'm in the industry 25 years. Do not do anything on your company computer or company network that you want to be private. Company network means the internet they provide. I don't even do banking or other innocent things that I think require privacy. Your employer is not your friend. Protect yourself. The young woman probably turned his advances down. Some men can't cope with the rejection. He put a gun catalog on the windshield of her car. I don't know what this gesture means, but I obviously understand that it was meant to be threatening. Unfortunately, inside was a subscription card that the company auto-filled with his name and address. This was the laugh I needed right now. Holy poop. I mean, I don't mean to make light of something serious, just the immediate karma. There is a secondary issue here being glossed over. Hubby is apparently a moron. You can cure many things, but stupidity isn't one of them. He is jealous that she slept with Darren and not him, so he's taking it out on Beth. I hope the op has left this horrible guy. I bullied a coworker and was fired. I can't believe they did this to me. I would love to know the timeline of when Beth started working at the company, when she slept with Darren, and when Oop's husband decided she was terrible at her job. I bet it went in that order. Master criminal at work here, LMFAO. Also husband is a misogynist, tried to intimidate, harry her and threaten a coworker, albeit he doesn't like her. I really hope Op left him, because how he behaved, that's not normal, but it's probably exactly who he is. I can't think of any possible reason for the husband to do this, unless it was a mental breakdown. My guess is the dude had the hots for Darren and took offense to the coworker sleeping with Darren. A computer programmer thought they could use their work computer on the company's network to anonymously harry a fellow employee. Well, he defo did it. Imagine realizing your husband did all that, spending years sleeping next to a secret violent misogynist. My skin would crawl. A senior engineer and programmer who doesn't know not to use his own work account to send harassment to someone in the same company. Sounds like he hit on her. She said no, and he reacted in an immature fashion. At the very minimum, husband is an utter moron doing all this on work devices. Not saying he should do it at all, but he's clearly stupid too. That is scary and obsessive behavior. I would never even consider staying with him. I don't work in tech, but it's 101 knowledge. Don't be doing anything you could get in trouble for at work. ESP on their servers. His name in the magazine is sending me though, lol. My thought is he's jealous of Darren sleeping with her and this is his way of getting back at her. He used the work computer? What a moron. Oops. Hopefully former husband is a grade A scumbag. The only option that should be considered is divorce. I fully believe he tried to seduce that poor woman and was rejected, hence the harassment and stalking. He was attracted to the coworker. She wasn't to him and probably told others he had made a proposition. As revenge, he took all the harassing actions and it all came to a head when he found out she was in a relationship with his coworker friend. I know these types. You'd think a computer programmer would know how computers work. That's all pretty objectively damning evidence. Even if Beth is the world's worst programmer, she's in a junior role. Creepy hubby could have just document and escalate shortcomings. No need to do all this crazy poop. I have to say, reading this I was expecting a twist, and I thought the company might be railroading him, favoring Darren, telling him he's lucky to not be charged. Nope, no twist. Just a straight freaking line. Creepy guy fired for creeping. No nuance, no shades of grey. I guess I read too many mysteries. I know companies will track certain behaviors over months, like time theft or fraud, to build a case for dismissal. It seems a little awful, for the person being harassed, to do so in the case of harassment. It's not exactly zero tolerance. They knowingly allowed an employee to be repeatedly harassed when they knew who was doing it. If you enjoyed this video, check out this playlist for more of the best Reddit stories, or watch this next video for your daily dose of karma. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep the karma flowing.